What's going on, everybody? TCP here. Welcome back with another vid. Here we are with another update on PulseX. What is my updated strategy on PulseX? Has been any update? Has been any change? And if it's not, what are my next moves for PulseX? I believe is going to be the next Uniswap, if not Uniswap, in the next bull run. And boy, oh boy, I just mentioned the bull run. And if you know me, you know me. When I say things, you should be paying very close attention. We know how it went. We were this close from launching Pulsechain, but boy, oh boy, it turns out that there are a lot of work to be done. Now, I hate blaming people for other people's mistakes, but PulseX and Pulsechain could have been launched early on. In fact, it could have been launched months ago hadn't we taken a different direction, but this is a story for another time. Now, here's the deal. A lot of people ask me, TCP, it's been long since you've gone from YouTube. What is your updated PulseX strategy? Tell us about PulseX. Give us an update. Well, here it is, folks. Number one, a solid launch with a good marketing, not a stupid marketing, but good marketing. I still stand by all my claims that I previously made about PulseX, in which PulseX will be the next Uniswap, if not Uniswap. Yes, there are things that happened since my last update on PulseX. The video, by the way, I made so many videos about PulseX. But the reason too, number one, why I love PulseX, I'm gonna throw it somewhere. I'm gonna throw it somewhere around there at the top. And the other one would be my PulseX strategy, which is simple yet super effective. Go watch that video. If you haven't seen any video on my channel, watch that video, the TCP strategy for PulseX. I'm going to throw it also somewhere out there. Recently, folks, what we have been seeing is that PulseX, Pulsechain, a lot of heat targeted Pulsechain, and that is understandable because Pulsechain is the layer 1 network. And everybody wants that layer 1, thinking that layer 1 is going to be the next ETH. Now, eventually, we are going to get a cheaper, faster, more scalable ETH. In fact, we already have seen a couple of ETH layer 2 networks are coming, like Optimism and others, right? Which are actually scaling much faster in terms of adoptions, in terms of fees, and also in terms of the actual transactions and the way they operate. The more people use that networks, the more cheaper they become. This is not a video about a Pulsechain, but I'm just trying to establish the link here. A lot of people are asking about PulseX. When PulseX is going to be launched? Is it with Pulsechain? Is it after the Pulsechain? Well, here's the thing, folks. PulseX needs to be launched with the same time as Pulsechain. So you got the Pulsechain, which is the fabric, right? That's the fabric. And everything is going to be built on top of it, right? So Pulsechain launches. If it's not at the same time, you need it after a couple of days top. You need to launch PulseX because the PulseX, it's the main, not one of many, but it's the main AMM on Pulsechain, which means all of your forks, all of your free copies is going to be there, which means all of your pools, all of your LPs is going to be established there, which also means if you want to launch a project on Pulsechain, you need to be interacted with PulseX. So PulseX is vital to Pulsechain, not the other way around. Let me repeat that. PulseX, the AMM, the automatic market maker, is essential to Pulsechain, not the other way around. So I can get a fork of PulseX launch it on other chains, and is still making a success, given the situation that I had managed to pull a very successful, logical, appealing marketing campaign, not just running around stupidly telling people how cool my stuff is. Good things that we have established so far for PulseX is a strong community, people who sacked already. We are, as a community, very powerful. We want the Pulsechain network to be launched. We want PulseX to see light, finally. But again, from a developer point of view, PulseX has been sitting finished on the sidelines for months now. I'm interested in the farms. I'm interested in the pools. Again, the farms, I'm going to be playing them for the first week to 2 weeks. Again, let me repeat, first week to 2 weeks, I'm going to be playing farms purely. Now, if pools launches, which is the single asset staking pool, which the one that I love, which is the one that I made so many videos on, that you stake PulseX, you earn the reward token. You take that reward token if they are already have some sort of a use case, which I already also told them to have. I give them 3-4 ideas, wonderful ideas. I don't know if they implement one of them or all of them or none of them, but regardless, we need to have at least one use case, one good use case to have that reward token and use it. Otherwise, I'm very cool with just taking my PulseX in the single asset staking pool, get that reward token, go dump it in the market, and turn it into Mola, my man, right? You see, it's all about getting gains. It's all about making money. If you're not making money in this game, you are a fool. I don't care if you stake. I don't care if you are buy and sell right away. If you're a trader, if you just pump and dump, I don't care. Here's what I care about: making money. If you're not making money, there's something wrong here. Okay? So here's the deal. Everything else still remain solid. PulseX has already been finished. Still waiting for Pulsechain to launch. My prediction for PulseX, I already made them before. Go see that video. They are still relevant to this date. There's nothing of changed except poorly designed and managed marketing campaign, unfortunately. Now, I hope this will change in the near future. Now, let's take a look on Dex Scanner. Let's take it one by one. In my opinion, Pulse will pump very hard at the beginning. And again, I made a prediction, price analysis, call it whatever you want. You can go and watch my previous videos. What I made the case that Pulse will pump and pump very hard. We're going to have a first and initial dump after it. That is very normal. If you are not familiar with first pump and the first dump, go ahead and educate yourself, please. It's not about only making gains. It's about sustaining the gains. It's about minimizing losses, risk analysis, minimizing losses, maintaining gains, and also making very calculated and thoughtful decisions when you enter and when you exit and how long you stay with the project. I digress. For PulseX, it's a little bit different. Also is going to be pumping. In fact, it's going to be pumping harder and faster than Pulse, but not at the beginning, because all the eyes are going to be focused on Pulse. Then it's going to be switching for PulseX when they see the returns, when they see the burnout, when they see that all the interactions are happening on PulseX and that PulseX is pulling these fees and burning them out and then reverting people who are staking Pulse. And folks, I am aware of a couple of projects already. We are going to talk about them down the road, but one of them, I'm not going to say anything. Let's leave it at this. There is going to be a big shock. In fact, I call it, when I first introduced to that project and the codes, I call it PulseX Jet Fuel. Let's leave it Down the road, you're going to talk about it. If you are not a subscriber to the channel, go ahead. What you waiting for? Subscribe to the channel. Hit me up on Twitter at TCP Crypto, and also join my private Discord. Link in the description below. It's paid because I believe in a valuable information, free information. This is it. This is what I'm giving you, but it's only going to go that far. If you want the ultimate, fastest, and also the moves, my private moves, when I'm entering, when I'm exiting, what I'm buying, what I'm selling at the time of making my trades, go ahead, link in the description below. Subscribe. I see you there. Thank you so much. TCP here. Out.